What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV.
Ta-da.
Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yes. We do appreciate the ones we have now.
Yes.
And we're going to love the ones we have later.
Yes. All right, everybody. I hope you had an amazing Juneteenth weekend. I know we did. We did a little family getaway to Charleston, South Carolina, which was interesting. Great city, just won't be returning. We won't be returning. But we're still in a Juneteenth spirit. So I hope you are too. I still got my shirt on. I don't care if it's technically over. It's not. It's not. Black people can celebrate as long as they want. Thank you. Thank you. But I hope you guys stay safe, had fun with your family and friends, drank a little bit, and then also was able to kind of get some history in there, learn something new over the weekend. You got anything for the people?
I'm going to rank for this episode, you know?
Why?
I don't know. I missed everybody. I'm ready to come back and talk.
Yes.
I missed everybody.
Yes. We are a little late, but like I said, we was gone for the week, for the long weekend. So we needed just a couple of days to kind of get back to reality with being on vacation with your family. So that can be a lot.
But we're back.
Yes.
We helped y'all watch the episode.
Yes.
We caught up and watched the episode.
Yes.
So y'all know what time it is.
Yes. Quick church announcement. I know that we have received a couple of comments about our volume on, some of the episodes. Let us know. I will let you guys know we do use a mic. So the mics are here. And we are going to try to turn everything up.
Yep.
This recording just to make sure you guys can hear us clearly. And there's no issue. Please continue to let us know if you do hear any feedback or if it's too low. Just continue to let us know. But also on your end, just make sure that your volume is up. But yeah, we're going to work on those technical difficulties. But because we don't do these recordings live, we don't know until after it's been posted and then people say something in the comments. So feel free to just let us know if you still feel like you're having difficulties hearing us. So yes. So that was brought to you by Kleenex. That was my commercial. But are you ready?
Let's get into it.
How you gonna take my line?
My turn.
Let's get into it.
So as y'all know, it was a to be continued from last week's episode, in which they were having the Black Expo, you mean comeback group meeting, expo meeting. It's the same thing. We have Marcel and Tisha literally trying to sell this dream, aka this scam, to the rest of the group still about this event. They're letting it be known. I'll recap it too. They're letting it be known that they're not paying anybody except outside people. They're trying to figure out who would want to be involved and in what capacity, what they would do. As you guys know, Mel, she is philanthropist? What's the word?
Yeah, if you want to say that. She's also a public speaker.
She's a public speaker. They're wanting Mel to speak. And I know they asked Mel about would she want to speak, in which Mel did let it be known that she did have something else on her schedule. What was it? It was like
She said she had some type of performance. To be honest, we don't have to go through this meeting anymore. You know what? I honestly feel like we're done. No, for real. Like we've already given our opinion on this whole comeback Black Expo scam situation. It's sketch. It doesn't make any sense. And this part of the meeting, they just all try to just like kind of strong arm Mel and try to guilt trip her into being a part of it. And just, I'm to be honest, y'all, I'm just not interested. I feel like we've talked about this ad nauseum. We're done.
But I think it's hilarious how Kimmy came at Marcel. What did she say? You're the most dysfunctional one.
Yeah, because Marcel made a comment about how that's why I don't want it to be attached to the comeback group name, because it always ends up like in dysfunction. And Kimmy's like, you're the most dysfunctional person in the group. And Marcel did not deny. He
but
just,
I started though. My thing is this: ever since watching the show, Kimmy. Sometimes I've been kind of weary on her. But one thing I can say about Kimmy, despite being married to Maurice, it seems like she does have her times where she is holding her ground. She's like not letting Maurice, control her thoughts like Letitia gets control. Like she's coming at Maurice's brother saying you're dysfunctional.
Well, the difference is that, I do think that there's a lot of control and a lot of allowing Maurice, allowing Maurice to kind of maneuver and act the way he does, and him not be held accountable for a lot of the things that he says and does. I definitely think that there's some issue there, right? The difference between Kimmy and Tisha is Kimmy's actually really intelligent. I mean, it's like no shade, but shade. Tisha's not bright to me. Like she has no type of street knowledge.
She
nothing.
Seems book smart, all the degrees, but there's a lot of people book smart and their street knowledge, their common sense is below sea level.
Her common sense is extremely lackluster, and I cannot. But that's the difference. But as far as them being with two men that are just beyond and allowing them to control and allowing them to manipulate situations, they both are in the same boat when it comes to that, to be honest. It's just that one's smarter than the other, so that's only going to go but so far. So Kimmy's going to challenge you because she's intelligent,
right?
And that's just what it is. Like, you can't just say anything to her and then try to mansplain shit to her. That's just like, that's not going to happen. Maurice makes it known that he doesn't want to be a part of anything if it's not the comeback group, if it's not the six. He's that if one person is not going to be a part, he doesn't want to be a part. And that opened up the door for them to, again, just for the rest of the people in the room, with the exception of Kimmy, to basically guilt trip Mel into being a part of it. And so what I feel like the conversation, everything that happened after that was just BS. Because it was all about them.
Well, a lot of people are selfish too. Like they don't want to be honest with themselves. And just like y'all's the viewers, y'all let me know. My thing is this: you're asking a couple that are divorced, going through court stuff right now, to work together still in a business aspect. First of all, Mel is not going to work with Martel. You're not going to work with somebody that's dragging you in court, smearing your name, trying to hurt you by using your kids. Like, you don't want to work with that person. And Marsal, Letitia, Maurice, I don't know if they're just dumb to the fact that what's going on in Mel and I'm sure they know what's going on in Martel and Mel's life. Mel don't want to be around him.
Well, I think it's even deeper than that. I'm going to say my opinion for halfway through the episode, because Letitia and Mel talk. They meet up, and I'll save my opinion about that topic later. But in this very moment, Maurice asked, it was asked of Mel, like, will she even be available for the event? Because I think even Mel said, when is the event? So that's another thing. This whole stupid meeting, like, the date wasn't even mentioned of when this was supposed to be taking place. And so Tisha said, I think she said like July 9th or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that day is when Mel had a performance, or she might be double booked. And Maurice brings up the idea. He's like, well, would you be willing to do in some type of virtual situation? Like, are you going to be in a place where you're going to have internet connection? And Letitia just comes out of nowhere. It's like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, bitch, see, this is part of the problem. This is why Mel doesn't want to work with y'all, because girl.
And she said, and Mel did mention too,
girl,
in her confessional, she just said it's just messy. And she's grown away from the mess.
Like, you don't want to be around Mel either. Like, you got a problem. Like, and Mel called her out on it and was like, it just seems like you're very closed-minded because you came in here and you was standing 10 toes down on we ain't paying nobody. Maurice gives an idea of maybe if Mel is not available, she can do something virtual. She's like, no, we not doing that. And it's like, you got a lot of opinions for an event that you didn't even have any damn objective, budget, location. Y'all already know how I feel about this event. She ain't have nothing. But you got so much of, what we not gonna do. Well, what are you gonna do? Because what is this event?
Right.
This is a waste of time. So we're done. We ain't talking about no comeback group no more. We're done.
Next.
Okay, so the next scene is Mel and Miss Nell. That's a mouthful. They are going to a pole dancing class. And so they're having fun. This was a very cute scene. And this is the type of scene that I was talking about, guys. She's finally opening up to Miss Nell and telling her, y'all know how Evan feels about Miss Nell.
Bruh,
hold on. Let's just
she's fraudulent. A fraud, bro.
Well, Mel doesn't feel that way.
But okay, just go.
Mel expresses how Miss Nell has been a part of her core group in her life because she feels like despite everything that was going on, Miss Nell has always been able to have her back and been a neutral party. So she feels like she meaning Miss Nell, is part of her core group. And so Mel also feels like this is a person that she would kind of give a little bit of information about what's going on in her personal life. So we find out Mel finally admits it, that she is dating someone. She is in a new relationship. And she's on cloud 9. That's what it seems like. Where I related to Mel in this conversation is she was just talking about how she's finally in a relationship where she feels protected. And she's never experienced that before. So there's moments where she's even crying because I would also assume just of relief because she's finally in a relationship where she can just breathe and she feels safe, right? And she mentioned how she never realized how much safety meant to her in a relationship until she went through her divorce. And now looking back and experiencing this new relationship that, it's really important to feel safe and secure with the person that you're laying down with. Yeah. The only thing I was going to add was this is, again, where I would say there's some relatability here because I've been there, been in really effed up relationships, and walking away from them, I recognized that that's what was missing. I did not feel safe. And so I knew in my next relationship that was going to be priority for me. So I understood where Mel was coming from. And this is the type of scene that I am talking about that I want to see more of from her. And I know that a lot of you guys felt like you disagreed with what I said, I feel like last week or maybe the week before, when I made a comment about how Mel does need to get off the show because we are wanting to see this side of her being fun, her dating. We want to see that, and she's not able to do that on the show. And a lot of you guys disagreed because I guess you felt like I was saying that she's just supposed to open up to the people on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that is far from what I meant. What I feel is this is the prime example of why she needs to be off of the show because I don't feel like she can really be herself, and we can see the fun side of her, and we can get to know her a little bit better just beyond just the businesses and beyond Martel. Like, see more of you as a mom, see more of you as, just a woman in your 30s out here, and you single and you dating and you're having fun and you're, your real friendship dynamics, like all of these things we want to see, or I know I want to see, is because I really do like Mel. So I really don't disagree with y'all. I feel the same way. She has given so much to this show and to this platform, and there's people that are on this show and that they don't give us nothing, and they've been able to get away with that and ride her coattail. I agree.
Well,
I feel that way.
I feel like, you hear it, like I said, we heard it on the show, you hear it in different situations, people about feeling secure, feeling safe, feeling protected. But I think that goes both ways. Just as a male, as guys, we want the sense of protection too. We want mental protection. We want emotional protection. Physical protection. You know, I just feel like that's kind of lost when it comes to what guys want to. I know women want to feel protected because of, especially black women, the things they put up with. But at the same time, I feel like that can go both ways for guys as well. A lot of guys don't say that. I think they say it in different ways, but I feel that's what they mean too.
You're looking for protection from women?
No, when I say protection, I can say something like, protecting me from stuff that will, what's the word I want to use?
Here, listen, I believe that in a relationship, it's supposed to be a safe space for both parties.
And thank you, right there. I think that's where I was trying to go.
Okay.
I think that's where I was trying to go. That's all. I will end it right there.
Let's not use the word protection.
No, that's where I was trying to go.
Okay.
I just feel safe spaces should go for both ways for both parties.
Got it.
And once that goes for both ways, it's like there's so much trust that is
built and gained, yes.
Gained, continue to be built, because that goes a long way. That's good. That's only gonna better the communication within a relationship, and really just, like I said, strengthen their core.
Yeah.
But yes, everyone, I still feel the same way about Miss Nell. I do not like how that happened at Tiffany's baby shower. About how she allowed them to have this conversation with Mel being at that table. I felt like she was not looking out for Mel, trying to keep that conversation away because she knows she did not want to hear about it. So yes, I still have my eyebrow raised up at that one. I'm not letting that slide.
Listen, I don't completely disagree with you. I feel like that was a mishap. I do think that Miss Nell is good people. At the beginning of the season, I was asking like, why are the Fletchers? Yeah, the Fletchers. Why aren't the Fletchers on the show? This is what I'm talking about. There's nobody else on the show that Mel is able to really have authentic scenes with. Everybody else is the ops. And so that's my thing. And Chris Fletcher has been on the freaking show since season 1. Like, guest starring or
I think they play a good role as the side friends. I
mean, that's fair. But what my overall point is that I've always liked Miss Nell. I really have. And so I'm forgive her for the situation. She didn't handle the baby shower situation the way I would handle it. Loyalty is everything to me. So the way that I will handle it, like, you can't be talking about my friend at this table without me having to pipe up. Right. It would be a case where Mel ain't even got to say nothing because I'm always getting people together. Like, like we not even doing this. Right. So no, she didn't handle the situation like how I would have handled the situation, but Mel is fine. And so if she's fine, we just gonna have to accept it.
True. So the next thing we have is Marsau and Letitia. It seemed like they were kind of doing a walkthrough. What word do we want to call this? It looked like
tour. They were
doing a tour. It looked like, but that didn't look like an apartment.
It did not look like an apartment.
That looked like a single family house, like a ranch style kind of.
But they didn't show the outside, but just kind of like looking at the whole scene and kind of like looking out the window. It looked like it was like just like you said, a single family home. So
as you guys know, we'll reiterate. They're still trying to build Scott's Manor. It'll be ready when Jesus comes back. But
shoot, that might be soon.
Yeah, the way
this world is going.
Okay, well,
Jesus, fix it.
It'll be years. Let's just keep it like that. But so they're touring this house and they're having a conversation talking about, so how are we gonna go about this? We are trying to get this house built on our property. We're trying to renovate the house we have right now, and we're planning on getting an apartment. Me personally, I'm not a real estate person. I don't know how the business structure works when it comes to that. Financially, that seems heavy.
So this is my thing, because you took my thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question. Guys, I am not about to be on YouTube professing to know anything about real estate.
Right.
That's not me. I'm not about to act like that, right? I know most people do now. I'm not doing that. I truly have so many questions because I don't know. I don't own multiple properties, so I don't know how this works. This is a question, guys, to you. Help me out. They are claiming that they are moving into an apartment while they renovate the home that they own and then move back into that home so they can start building the home that they bought the property for.
Right.
I agree with your point. To me, does this financially make sense? I'm asking.
Yeah, we want to hear your
asking.
answers on that.
I truly do. Like, I know somebody that watches us is in real estate. I know one of y'all are in real estate. My real estate license goes as far as HGTV. That's all I know. That's all I know. And what I do know from HGTV, because I watch all the renovation shows, when you are renovating, it is such a financial
burden.
And anything can happen, right? Because you have to factor in any incidentals, any things that can go wrong, right? Like when you start breaking down your home and start like breaking down walls and the floor and you start pulling stuff up, you might run into some issues. I mean, there hasn't been a renovation show that I've ever watched in my life where the renovation just went so smooth. There was no problems discovered. Like that's always how it ends up, especially with older homes. And the home that they own looks like an older home. That's, again, no shade. I'm just saying it just doesn't look like it was built in the past, let's say 5 years.
Right.
So to me, would it not, I'm asking, would it not make sense to either A, sell the home that they own, rent until their home is fully built, or sell the property? And I'm saying sell the property because to me, they have been driving up to this hill in the woods for 3 seasons. It's been 3 or 4.
I have no clue, but
3 or 4 seasons they have been driving up to this hill.
Driving up to that hill, getting out the car.
And nothing has changed.
Hands on the hips, walking around looking at these same rocks.
Right. And nothing has changed. So I'm going to take that as either you don't have the money to do it or something is going on with the land. Something is stopping them from even breaking ground.
Yeah. Or yes, there could be something holding up some money flow going in because, like I said, the other things they have going on, like maybe something that they planned, either a business venture or a project due to their building stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe something stalled and didn't go the way they thought it would go, and it's really held a lot up.
Oh, and that's fair. And so then my thing is in how do you then have enough money to renovate the home that you own and then also rent? And you also apparently own multiple businesses.
Right. I mean, like I said, there could be some loans taken out. That
just doesn't, financially, I'm very confused. And you know what? We wouldn't be confused as if they would just be very direct with what's going on in their life. That's the problem. They say little things here and there in random episodes as if like, you know, we're just supposed to know that. And I'm going to call out when they did this in this episode a little bit later. But I'm so tired of not knowing what's going on with the Scotts when it comes to this. Like you have these businesses, but we never see the business or the project from beginning to end. I just don't understand. I really don't. I have a lot of questions and I think they're missing out on this opportunity where they can kind of show us the ins and outs when it comes to building a home and, you know, purchasing property, renovating, and they're missing out. And I don't understand why. It's giving scam.
But outside of that, Marcel and Tisha had an interesting conversation during their tour. Marcel proposed that him and I think the son's name is MJ.
Yeah.
Him and MJ stay in the house that they're renovating while Letitia and the girls go stay in the apartment. And Letitia was definitely not for that. She said, we are a family. There's no reason you should not be in the same house. Marcel claims strategically that will help speed the time up of the renovations because he's already there and not having to drive back and forth. And Tisha's saying, "Oh, so you want a bachelor pad with our son?" And
which I would say that's a little weird to say that.
Yeah, I mean, the son's what, 15?
Yeah, 15, 16. Mm-hmm.
And Marcel's like, "What?" But I truly feel Marcel's idea is out of whack. I mean, if you're gonna renovate it, like I said, still live with your family. Like, I don't get why you just can't maneuver to the house when you renovate. I don't know, but you already know how I feel. He wants to get away from Letitia. I mean, he just doesn't want to be around her. Like, he's like this. Look, these are your kids. Wait, no, this is my son. Those are your girls. You know?
Right, because you noticed that, huh?
So he's like, Letitia's his wife 3 hours out the day. Besides that, that's his assistant. That's his assistant. What you mean?
Well, Letitia wasn't going for it.
He does not mind being in the same city, sleeping in separate beds, living in different roofs.
For months.
Because
I think they said it would take like 8 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Letitia wasn't going for it. She says she's not having it. Nope, you need to be at home. We're a family. We need to be in our home like a family. Whatever, girl. So then he tries to guilt trip her, manipulate her, and was basically like, okay, well, I'll compromise. He would then, I guess, reach out to his resources or his contractors and have them put in the work for the renovation while he goes home. And he was like, so that means we're going to have to take money out of our savings. I'm assuming like their day-to-day, savings to make this happen. And that's the sacrifice there's gonna have to be some sacrifices made.
And because I figure for him, due to maybe some of the experience he has with building and the renovations, that he was trying to save money by him doing it and not having to pay somebody to do it.
I think that would be so fair if we were talking about someone else. I just never know Marcel's intentions. I never know his intentions. I have no idea.
But it's still the same. Why do you have to live there? Why can't you live in the apartment and just go day to day over there to work?
And shoot, you can be over there all night if you need to.
Back.
But by midnight, bringing your ass back. But again, if we were talking about regular couples, and I don't know his intentions. I truly don't. I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever.
Okay, so the next scene we have Courtney showing up. I don't know what property it was. Don't quote me.
It was black.
Black. Okay.
It's all black.
Okay. So we had Courtney showing up to meet Marcel Black. They have a little, talk a little business in the beginning because Courtney claimed that he really doesn't like to talk business with people, but for some reason he feels a little comfortable talking to Marcel about business.
This was fake.
When it comes to expanding business, and was that the scene where Marcel talked about the barbershop or no?
No, that's why as soon as Courtney walks in, he's like, Marcel's in a part of Black because I guess they own that strip, right? They own the strip. And so he's basically saying that he's renting out part of Black to do a upscale barbershop by this company or organization called Beam. Again, this I'm confused. Like, why did you not show them making this business deal? They show a little black and white clip real fast of Letitia and Marcel talking to the young man that owns this organization or business. And it's like, why could that not have been a part of the show? So we can just see what you guys do.
And it was a missed opportunity.
I don't get it.
But
I'm sorry to cut you off because it was also mentioned that they were renting out the other half for Slutty Vegan, which I got questions with that because you told me that they have a location in Birmingham that they just had recently opened.
I believe when I looked up, the only place in Alabama was Birmingham.
And that had just opened.
That just opened. And
so Marcel says they got to deal with Pinky. And I'm like, Pinky is the one that owns Slutty Vegan. But I'm like,
yeah, it's confusing.
What's going on?
But outside the business talk, Courtney's talking to Marcel about working with family. Because I don't know if you guys remember, you probably do, with Courtney and Stormy's business, they had a recently fired junior. And I think it was Stormy's cousin.
Yeah.
But Stormy and her cousin, they're close. Marshawn then let us in a little story in which he talked about how in the beginning of him and this whole, real estate building ordeal, how Maurice worked with him in the beginning, and he had to eventually let go of Maurice because Maurice had some stuff going on. I believe that was around the time Maurice was about to get married too.
Yeah.
Which, working with family, it is a gamble. You really have to be able to separate, family and business.
This was a fake scene, but no. And did you also get the vibe that it was kind of like alluded that Maurice is kind of like a bum worker, kind of? That's kind of what the vibe
I think Marcel's trying to say Maurice was not working to his standards,
right?
So he had to go. But Courtney come to talk about something that happened episodes ago with Junior.
But this. But my thing is, the editing. This really could have been weeks ago when that happened.
Right, it could have been. But Courtney talking about Junior being fired. He claims that he saw Junior on his phone numerous times, not working, not doing what he's supposed to do, being lazy. Like I said, that's why you don't hire family. Seriously, like you don't hire family. I'm not gonna say much more to that scene because, like I said, production task said to Courtney, "You need some camera time, so go talk to Marcel." So
yeah,
I'm not.
But it is frustrating because once again, it's just like we get little bits and pieces of the people that have been here since day one, and I'm talking about the Scotts.
Yeah.
Like the little. This is what I mean when I said earlier they just say random things at random times. Like all of a sudden they worked together back in the day, right. And Marceau fired him because of the wedding, and it's just. What does that mean? Like, it's like we don't know anything about the Scotts prior to them being on TV. Mm-hmm. We know nothing really about them. Things are not adding up to me. And if you didn't have social media and knew how much of a strong presence that this show has had on social media, you would be completely lost. Because, we know that Marceau used to work at the movie theater. Mm-hmm. We know that they was kind of leaning on the Holts and at times financially. We've heard about Mel and Martel letting them borrow a car because they didn't have a car over there. We've heard about all of these different things and a lot of their struggles, but it's like they try to create this picture on TV like they just kind of always like they say they got it out the mud, but they don't really go into detail, and it's just kind of like, well, who are y'all? And like it's just making it feel like the stories are not connecting. Like without social media, we wouldn't really know what caused the divorce between Kiowa and Maurice. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't know that if it wasn't for social media. If it wasn't for the crew doing their interviews or people just looking up information on them, we wouldn't know a lot of information about them. And I get it. Like, you don't want all of your whole business, all of your family business on TV. I understand, but at the end of the day, you did sign up for a reality show and you're not giving us anything.
Right.
It's like your storylines have been connected to what used to be the Holts, mm-hmm. or cheating allegations that like both of y'all are denying. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, like it's just they keep missing opportunities so they can have like those positive moments. Yeah. But they're not taking them. It's just weird. Okay, so now we get an annoying scene with Tisha and Mel. Tisha invites Mel out to lunch because Tisha's saying that, I don't feel like Mel is being honest about why she really doesn't want to be a part of the Black Expo and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Letitia, this is a ditzy bitch. Like, I'm really over Letitia. Like, you can't be this stupid. This is like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even about to sit here and go word from word what was said because it's really pointless. I'm gonna just tell y'all how I feel about it. This was stupid. This was a lot of Mel explaining the obvious with Letitia about why she is not 100% comfortable going into business with y'all. You literally sat on a stage months prior and called this girl the devil, basically. She said she had a dark soul. Mm-hmm. And now you're about to sit here in my face and be like, I don't understand why you don't want to be a part of the Black Expo. This is about community. Bitch, shut up. Like, you have not liked me for real since day one. That's number one. And two, like, are you, even if we remove you out of the equation, you and the Scots, all the Scots, let's remove them out of the equation. Do you really think that I want to be up here doing business deals with my ex-husband who is literally suing me right now and trying to get custody of my kids? Bitch, you got the internet like we got the internet. So I know at this point that you're having this conversation with Mel, you know this.
Well, no, King Marcel may restrict her internet access.
Well, whatever, bro. Like, whatever. She's so ditzy, and it pisses me off. Like, you don't read a room. You're trying to play this whole, like, airhead thing, and it's just, like, stupid. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. You are a grown woman. You should be able, bare minimum, you should be able to empathize with that part alone. Her dealing with Martel. Why would she want to then do some type of business expo shit with him? And again, your ass said that she had a dark soul a couple months before.
And Mel put out there too, there's just too much that has happened.
Yes, that's Mel was just explaining
just in
everything.
A nutshell, too much has happened. And I believe any one of y'all too, like any one of y'all who it doesn't even have to be a ex-lover. It can be a friend. And y'all used to do business together. And when things go down where you don't trust this person no more, they're smearing shit on your name.
Right.
All that. It will be hard to separate business and personal with that person. You're not going to work with them.
And I told y'all last week, and I'm going to say it again, and anybody can feel how they want to. You're more than welcome to disagree with me, but I don't believe that you can separate business from personal. Oh, no, I really don't. And that is why I would not get into business with my family. I just wouldn't.
And I'm going to tell y'all too, prime example, and this is an example of business and friends. I don't know if you guys know about how Facebook was started. Mark Zuckerberg, it was not just him. He actually had friends at Harvard who was working on this project with him, and he did the part of pretty much taking care of all the paperwork, the legal stuff. Turned out to be his.
Everybody get our channel pulled down. I ain't saying shit.
But I think that
what are you talking about?
But I think what happened though is down the line he ended up giving them each some money.
It happens all the time. Like, listen, that type of shit happens all the time. Like, people get played when dealing with, especially friends. Mm-hmm. They get played all the time in business. That's why I said I'm not doing this with y'all. At the end of the day, if we're going to be in business together, I just feel like there needs to be some contracts going around. Mm-hmm. There needs to be a clear understanding. I also feel like it doesn't need to be multiple people. That's another part.
It just needs to be well structured.
It needs to be well structured.
There can't be no holes. It just literally, and it just has to be professional.
You're right. And my thing is, in this particular case, if you didn't even have my back as a friend in like in the real world, right? Like what was going on between me and my ex-husband, why would I trust you with my money?
Right.
Why would I then be in business with you? I don't know. The bitch is dizzy. I can't take it. I'm over it. She sat there and also mentioned to Mel how she was just kind of like, again, bringing up the whole, you could put that to the side for community service. Again, I don't like the manipulation. I really don't. No. I know for a fact Mel does a lot of community service on her own. I don't have to do community service with you. Yeah. I don't have to do that. So do not try to guilt trip me in this way. I don't like to be manipulated. And that's what I was getting from that conversation that she had with Tisha. And it was just annoying. End of the conversation, again, more with the manipulation. She then tells Mel that she should come to their site visit where the event is going to be and tell the group, more so Maurice, let everybody know that she doesn't want to be a part of it, because she mentions, again, meaning Mel, she mentions that she's not going to be able to probably be at the event because she's double booked. And again, this was just another way for her to strong arm her. I didn't like it. I forgot to also mention in the middle of this conversation that it started off with Letitia saying how she, Mel, I just felt like you weren't yourself. You weren't really engaged in the meeting. I'm used to the Mel that's giving the ideas and, basically running the meeting. And I'm like, bitch, you feel that way because you wanted her to do that so you can once again take her ideas. Because it's also clear that when you guys were the comeback group, a lot of y'all was riding on the coattails of a Mel and a Kimmy because of the intelligence. So when it comes to ideas and thinking bigger, when it comes to the business, it seems like those were the two that were really leading the charge. And I would more so lean on Mel because all of them admitted that Mel had a lot of the resources. Yeah. She knew a lot of people within Huntsville and was able to get them different deals when it comes to certain things. So Letitia, bye. So the final scene is probably why some of y'all are even here. And I know y'all want to talk about it because it's been talked about, from my understanding, on Facebook. Okay? The aunties are mad. We get a scene with Stormy and her mom. And Stormy sitting there, she's burning sage. Stormy in the fake Erykah Badu-ism is because now you burning sage, right? Now you burning sage. Now you want to have a conversation. You want to be able to communicate and be honest and not yell and cuss. Like, it's kind of like, girl, we was trying to tell you that at the etiquette class. You could have got some tips on, how to facilitate a conversation because you were trash at facilitating this conversation that's about to happen. Mm-hmm. It was just trash. But whatever. She's burning the sage. Her mom is just... It's clear from the very beginning that her mom is planning to be on the shits.
She's on demon time.
Right. So Stormy wants to have a conversation with Junior and Junior's mom, who is Aunt Lisa. And Aunt Lisa is Stormy's mom's sister, Betty. Betty is Stormy's mom's name. So the four of them, she wants the four of them to have a conversation because apparently Stormy's mom, Miss Betty, told Miss Lisa that Stormy fired Junior. That was a mouthful, wasn't it, y'all? Follow me, okay? So Aunt Lisa is feeling away because she's like, your mom came to me telling me this information kind of like a nana boo boo type of thing, right? Like trying to be evil. It wasn't just Junior got fired. Did he tell you? It wasn't like that. It was obvious as the conversation went on. Stormy's mom says her version of the story is that Aunt Betty came over and she was like, Aunt Lisa was talking about the warehouse, and she was like, oh, well, Junior's fired. Mm-hmm. Aunt Lisa was like, no, girl, you said that he was fired and that you was gonna whoop his behind because he said something about Stormy, right? So she added some extra stank on there, and it's just clear and obvious that Betty again was trying to throw daggers. Mm-hmm. Because she is clearly too involved in Stormy's business.
As if she created the business.
Right. Because Aunt Lisa even asked, she's like, whose business is this?
Right.
Because I don't want to be involved in any way with what y'all had going on. Because Stormy's mom's point was, like, I told her she should have never hired Junior. I told her she should never hire Junior. She's like, my problem is, you really didn't have her back. And you saying this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Basically getting involved into the business of the day-to-day business that was going on at the warehouse.
Right.
Mind you, Junior the whole time, this is the second time we've had a scene with him, and very laid back. Like, he's not really saying much. He'll answer your question. If you ask him a question, he'll answer it. He doesn't raise his voice. But he just be like kind of laid back in a chair, just be like, it is what it is type of thing. Betty is the only one that's getting hype.
I mean, let's call it a thing. I'm tired of these mothers getting on reality TV. literally trying to show their ass,
right?
Trying to create their scene. And it's like, I said it before, I'll say it again. All these mothers, you're not getting a spinoff. Don't nobody care.
They gave Mama Joyce a spinoff.
Who's that again?
Candy's mom. I digress.
They
That's
did?
not the point. The lady gang stuff. I don't know because I don't watch it. It doesn't matter.
But anyways, my thing is this: y'all not getting spinoffs. Don't nobody care. Her mom, I'll be honest with you, like that looks like a miserable ass woman. Like it's like she looks like. First of all, I can tell you ain't got no man in your life, but she just looks so miserable, so full of hate. She seems like she just really gets off on coming down on people and being condescending.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So when they were kind of going back and forth, Betty takes it somewhere where it didn't need to go. And she was just like, looks at Stormy. She's like, everything you did for him, talking about Junior. She was like, you know, even when he went to jail, you bailed him out with $1,500 or whatever she said. And Aunt Lisa, that was it for Aunt Lisa. Aunt Lisa got up. She was like, take this mic off of me. We done. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing this with her because... Again, the way the scene was going, there was no reason for Betty to even bring that up. There was no reason. Not saying that we would judge him anyways. At the end of the day, like, right. You know, it is what it is. Like Aunt Lisa said, he's 29 years old and he's made mistakes in his past. He's, you know, he was held accountable for it. It is what it is. Why are you bringing it up in this way, in this moment? It was very weird. It had nothing to do with what they were talking about.
No, because it went from talking about a situation to just personal.
Right.
It went the past.
Right. And it was clear to me what Betty was doing and like trying to just say this on TV about him because we know how a lot of closed-minded people are. And just, you know, people just really feel like we don't have a mass incarceration problem within the Black community. And like most Black men either know somebody or has been in prison or did some jail time. But I digress. But she said it because she knew it would be very salacious. It would be...
And triggering for her.
And triggering for Aunt Lisa.
Yep.
And it's very weird. And evil. Because at the end of the day, that's your nephew. So I don't even know why you would want to do that. Because
she don't care. You know, like I said, she just seems like an evil person. Like I can tell she's not happy with herself.
She's very evil. It was a very, I'm an energy person, so I have to be in your space to kind of get a vibe from you. But I will say her energy was kind of like coming through the TV. Mm-hmm. There was points where Aunt Lisa was you can tell she was very upset. She started crying at one point.
Walked out the house.
And like, Betty's sitting there, she's laughing. And I didn't understand.
And you know, Stormy, I know that's your mom, but are you going to call a thing and let your mom know she's wrong?
Because not one time did she do that.
Like, you look at, what's Lisa? Is it Lisa?
Yeah.
You look at her as a second mother, and you can't correct your mom degrading your second mother and your cousin that you said you guys were like brother and sister.
And this is the thing, because let me say, I am not judging anybody for having family issues. This situation that they're going through right now, when I tell you my family has went through the same exact scenario, same exact situation multiple times, and y'all want to talk about reality shows, somebody got to call me to pitch my family reality show because they're off the chain. And there are people in my family, there are siblings that do not get along, that do not talk, but I am close with their kids or vice versa. There are aunts and uncles that are not talking. There is some real deep-rooted family issues in my family. And I know that is probably the case for y'all's family. We all have them. But what I'm judging is the way it was handled. Mm-hmm. Stormy is just, girl, you completely failed at trying to facilitate this conversation. Mm-hmm. I am 29 and part of the youngest generation of my family right now. And I have had to facilitate many of conversations. And they have went left. But I will say, this was not how you do that. It was like when when Aunt Lisa went outside at the first time, Stormy goes outside and was like, you need to come back inside because my mom is in there with Junior by themselves. Like, why would you antagonize her in that way? Like, that was weird.
Yeah, and Stormy's mom was in there literally. I forgot the words she was saying.
Oh, I know it because I wrote it down. When she was in the room alone with Junior, she was just like, I think Junior asked her, like, what's your problem with me or whatever? And then she was like, you're a condescending little prick. Like, what are we talking about? Like, like, what? She was so upset at her sister and her nephew as if there was some scenes left out, right, or there was clearly some bad blood.
I don't think it was left out. I think she's just literally evil.
Because Junior's sitting there kind of just chilling, just making sure his mom is okay, and hasn't really said much. He didn't even get to say much. Him or Stormy, because here goes Betty.
And so...
It was weird.
So from that scene, Lisa walks out again. It looks like she's by their... It kind of looks like they have a farm, like a little farm.
Yeah, she does. Stormy has a lot of land.
So Lisa's on the fence. Stormy comes out there. You know, Lisa's talking about her distaste for this meeting, and her mom saying, you know, I just can't do that woman no more. In a nutshell, I don't know who she is. I want nothing to do with her. I think she said too, I'll never speak to her again. Yeah. And Stormy's like, no, you know, please don't. But it's like, Stormy,
I don't think her intentions were pure in this. I just don't.
No. And so, you know, Stormy's trying to be like, no, don't leave. You're like a second mother to me. If she was, you would show more respect for her and stick up for her.
Right.
And, you know, your
and be wrong. Like, your mom, you're wrong. Right. Like, it doesn't have to be
and
this
way. And not
way.
just that. You know, Stormy owes an apology to her and Junior because you let your mom berate Junior like that. And he's supposedly your brother and you ain't say nothing to him. Right. And so, while they're talking, you know, the camera shows Miss Betty creeping down the sidewalk, walking that direction with a little evil smirk on her face because she knows the hurt that she caused, like by her words. And it's just, for me, I'll be honest with y'all, that whole scene, I was really over it. It's just evil to me. I don't like seeing that stuff. Like, you know,
from our elders.
Yeah, and my thing is, from an elder's position, as knowledgeable you're supposed to be for the younger crowd and everything. It's like her mom was acting like a high school sophomore, for Christ's sakes. I really care less about her mama scenes now, to be honest with you.
Stormy mentioned that the breakdown between the siblings, meaning her aunt and her mom, started with her grandfather getting sick. And she said that her mom, meaning Betty, she stepped up and the rest of the siblings kind of didn't, I'm going to assume. Again, these are like, you know, I can only speak for Black families. This happens. This happened with you, with me. Like, this happens in our family. It always does. Somebody gets sick, and that a lot of times that's when a lot of the shit just kind of goes to hell at that point. Like, relationships start breaking up.
It happened in soul food.
Oh my God. Y'all, shout out. I'm going to even put this out here now. We was not going to tell y'all, but eventually we are going to be doing some like Black nostalgia videos on our page because Evan here has not seen a lot of Black shows, a lot of Black movies. And since we've been together, he has watched Soul Food for the first time, and that's his favorite movie, y'all. That is his favorite movie. Every scenario, Soul Food. Like, every day.
That's a lot of daily soul food, though.
He'd be like, oh, that happened in Soul Food.
It did.
That was how Soul like, every day, y'all. But that's later to come. That's later to come. But back to them. It's how you handle stuff, and I just feel like it's very sad. I could tell that Aunt Lisa really does love Stormy because she kept saying it. She was like, I've only dealt with your mother this long because of you. Because I am like your second mother, and I love you so much. But she's like, I can't do this no more. And I know she's like, I'm at this old age. I don't got time for Betty and her foolishness. And that's what it's giving. You know, Black women reach a certain age, and they're like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. We done. Family or not. Because, listen, I'm quick to cut a family member off. I don't care. Not when you're not bringing any peace into my world or in my space. So we not doing that. So,
but we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Reality Check TV. Y'all be sure to watch next week's episode as well as we will. You guys know we're here to review. Please continue to like and subscribe. We really appreciate the comments you have going on. We're trying to respond to them as quickly as we can. Even on some old videos, we're seeing that we're getting new subscribers and they're even commenting on old videos. So we're definitely going to get to you guys as well. Like I said, we appreciate the love. Please, like I said, share our channel with y'all friends. Let them know what we have going on. We're welcome. We want to add to the community.
And if you don't know, all of our Love and Marriage Huntsville viewers, we also are doing Summer House Martha's Vineyard that comes on Bravo. Those are the only two shows that's been on right now. But we want to get y'all's opinion on if you guys are going to be watching this Love and Marriage DC. Or not DC, Detroit. There is a DC, but this is Detroit. It's going to be a new series that is supposed to be premiering this weekend. Listen, I ain't saying we doing it yet. We got to see that first episode. I don't know. But we do want to know if you guys are going to watch. Mm-hmm. Let us know.
But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We hope to see you guys next week, as well as some new people as well.
All right.
So, you know what we do. It's the summertime. Drink y'all water. And always be safe in these streets or if you're on the sidewalk.
Bye.